तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणाम् अपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते. So we have done till 17. 18th we have to do, right, today? We had seen the example of the mirror. Atma is all pervasive, just like the reflection of any object is everywhere. But just like it is visible only in a mirror, in the same way, in a pure intellect, this self can be experienced. Now continuing that further, 18th shloka. Dehendriya mano buddhi prakritibhyo vilakshanam tadvritti sakshinam vidyat atmanam rajavatsada. So here he says, Deha, body, Indriya, senses, Mana, mind, Buddhi, intellect, Prakriti, one's own. They all are from Prakriti, Prakritibhyo Vilakshana. Completely different from these five is the Atma. So what is this Atma then? Tadvritti Sakshinam Vidyat. Atma is the witness of these. Whatever activities are happening of the body, of the mind, of the senses, of the intellect, Atma is a witness of this. Meaning, in its presence, everything happens. It does not do anything. What is the example given here? Atmanam Rajavatsada. Atma is like a king. So what will the king do? The king doesn't do anything specifically in the court. In the presence of the king, various things they will come. Somebody will dance, somebody will speak something, some justice has to be given. The king is a presence. To that we have to that much aspect we have to limit this example. We can't say that, but king also does so many things inside that. He also delivers justice. The idea here is the execution is done by all the other people, but the power is with the king. And in the presence of the king, they all become very active. The king doesn't even have to tell them to do. The presence of the king, everyone becomes active. Same way, the presence of Atma, all these will become active. So now this is one aspect which we have to know, that by very presence the self illumines all these. The qualities of each one are dependent on the qualities of the body, mind, intellect. But the Atma, which is the witness, which is the illumining factor, that Atma is one and the same in all. And my nature is that pure Atma. So like the illuminer never gets affected by the illumined. Whatever may be happening here, this light will illumine. Right now we are having satsang, then there may be some other meeting, there may be nobody here, there may be some dinner. The light will only illumine. In its presence, every activity will happen, but the light doesn't do anything. Now, why this is important to know? Because we are constantly stuck with action and with the doership. I think I am the jiva, I am the karta. If I think I am the karta, then I only have to be the bhokta. So one is caught in the cycle of karma because of kartritva bhav. And why do I have kartritva bhav? Because I identify with the body, mind and intellect as me. This is not there in deep sleep. No sense of doership, no sense of enjoyership in the deep sleep. Waking state, it comes. So the moment our buddhi becomes active, I feel I am a limited jiva, then I am a doer, I am an enjoyer. Now the cycle of life and death continues. But the fact is, my true nature is the Atma, which is non-doer. In its presence, these will do everything. The body, mind, intellect, they will act. So what should be our attitude as a seeker? That these are actions done by body, mind, intellect, they are the equipment. I am the Atma, which is non-doer, which doesn't do anything. So if we have that attitude of a non-doer, either one can have the attitude of a devotee who says, Bhagwan is the doer, I am not the doer, I am an instrument. Then the doership will reduce. Or this attitude that I am a witness, I don't do anything, it is being done by the body, mind and intellect. In either ways, what happens? The ego reduces, the sense of doership reduces. The more the sense of doership reduces, the lesser is the stress, number one. Number two, if ego reduces, much more work will happen. Many more things can be achieved. Because ego pressure actually limits. The doership makes us it inhibits our potential. Non-doership opens up infinite potential. So even if we see the lives of so many great masters, you see how much work they have been able to achieve is because they don't bring the ego into play. The ego is removed. Once the ego is removed out of the picture, whatever will happen only for the good of the whole society. It will not bind them also. There is no pressure on them also. That's the way to actually manifest our full potential. And this we can see everywhere. In a musician's life, if the ego is put aside, how beautiful music comes out. They will become one with music. They will lose their sense of individuality. The whole key is this: through whatever work we do, if we know how to drop the sense of doership, that work has become successful. That life has become successful. And that's why we should choose a swadharma in which we belong, the temperament in which we belong. If we choose the field where we belong, where there's a natural inclination, there is lot of easy chance to let go of the doership. Because one enjoys that work. In that one loses oneself, completely forgets oneself. So that is the method. And hence he says here, the Atma is like the Raja. That the Atma doesn't do anything. In its presence everything gets done. And we should think of ourselves as that I am the enlivening factor. Either think that I am the enlivening factor, I am the witness. Atmanam Rajavat Sada. In the presence of this witness, everything happens. So witness is not bothered about good, bad. So does it mean that we can act anyhow we want? Suppose we go and steal something. Then you say, I didn't do anything. I am only a witness. Body went and stole. Some people can misuse this, They go and shout at somebody, hit somebody. I say, I didn't do, mind did it. Speech did it. Body did it. That it is not to be misused. Then the result also is going to come. The police will come catch you. That also is done by that body, mind, intellect only. That body, mind, intellect caught you. Atma is the same in both. So it is not for misusing. It is not for escapism. It is not for shirking responsibility. This is the highest philosophy of non-doership, of how to put the ego aside. So ego will be put aside in knowledge, or ego will be put aside in love. This is the knowledge approach, that I am the Sakshi. Aksha means to see. Sakshi means to see very clearly without getting involved. So the uninvolved, unaffected observer is called Sakshi. So in each of us there is an uninvolved, unaffected observer. Today we don't know that presence. We are identified fully with body, mind, intellect, senses, and we keep getting affected. And not to get affected, then what will we do? To unwind, go somewhere, go to some spa, go to some place, go to some nice resort, anything, because pressure of life, one gets affected, then one wants to unwind, one goes. Nothing wrong in doing that, but what is Vedanta telling us? Why you take that pressure? You are not the karta at all. No, Swamiji, that pressure is going to be natural. No, that's where the Vedanta is saying. It is not natural. It is unnatural. Natural state is non-doership. From that natural state of non-doership, we have come into the state of ego and the doership. Now everything will affect me. From a state of being a witness where nothing will affect me, now I am in a state of identification with body, mind, intellect, where everything will affect me. So that's why to the extent I am able to give up the ego, to the extent I will remain unaffected. And this we see in our life also. Even some fights or something that we pick up, if we make an ego issue out of it, how much more we get affected. If we let go some part, suppose some argument one is having with a child, one doesn't make an ego issue of it. Sometimes it happens or not. For the sake of the child, one loses also in a game. One doesn't make any ego issue out of it. In an argument also one will lose. The child may be talking most illogical thing. But sometimes one says, it's okay, you are right. Because ego issue I am not making. If I don't make an ego issue out of it, what happens? I am happy, I am relaxed. The moment I make ego issue, I am gone. So this verse is to tell us, and many more verses like this will come, which are about non-doership now. The Atma's nature is non-doership, meaning I am not the doer. In whichever way I can remember this throughout the day. To that extent, my ego pressure will be less, and ultimately no cycle of birth and death. So that is this verse 18. Now similar thought is continued ahead in the next analogy. Vyaprateśvindriyeshvatma vyapariva vivekinam drishyate bhreshu dhavatsu dhavan iva yatha shashi. So here it is, vyapriteshu, while functioning, indriyeshu, the sense organs. Atma, this Atma, so when the senses are functioning, this Atma appears vyapariva, as though the Atma is doing it. Earlier we saw that Atma is not the doer. The actions, etc. are happening by body, mind, intellect, but in the presence of Atma. Without Atma's presence, none of this will work. But Atma is not the Karta. But here, avivekinam, those who don't have the discrimination properly, they mix up. They don't think that the Atma is non-doer, they think Atma is the doer. So what is the example given here? Drishyate abhreshu dhavatsu. When the clouds are moving, dhavaniva yatha shashi. It seems as though the moon is moving. The movement is actually of the clouds, but it looks as though it is of the moon, which happens many times, even in other situations of life. And we are going in the train, so we see the trees are moving. But tree is not moving, we are moving. So that's called the illusion. So Atma does not do anything, but because it enlivens something which is active, we have superimposed the action on the Atma and we think that I am the doer. So the same thought earlier here, but just to understand that very clearly, that there is, in the example, the limitation that the moon doesn't move compared to the clouds. Should not bring that aspect here. Moon also goes around the earth. In a situation where we are seeing the clouds moving, if we think of it as the moon moving so fast, moon is not moving so fast. It's the cloud which is actually moving. In the same way, what is that which is moving, what is that which is not moving? Who is the doer, who is not the doer? This vivek has to be done. The word they have used here is avivekinam. A non-discriminative person mixes up these two. Body, mind, intellect is the doer, enlivened by the Atma. Vyapriteshu indriyeshu. It is the vyapar of the indriyas. So what is the vyapar, what activity of the indriyas, of the mind, of the intellect, has nothing to do with me, actually. This is very strange, In our daily life, if you have not done something and somebody accuses you of doing, what will you do? You will protest and say, I didn't do it. Here you are not doing anything. As Atma, I am not doing anything. But still I am assuming all that being done by the BMI as though I am only doing it. And I have forgotten my non-doer witness attitude. And then I am getting affected by it also. And I am not even protesting. That's the strange part. No protest. Whatever BMI is doing, I am only doing. So I am going through the karta bhav, I am going through bhokta also. I am going through all stress and strain connected to that. When I am not even the doer. But in the world we will protest. I didn't say like this. I didn't do like this. Don't accuse me. This is false accusation. This, that. But here, so happily one has assumed that I am only the doer. I am only the enjoyer. Because one has not known oneself as the witness, as a non-doer's self. So that is this. Drishyate abhreshu dhavatsu dhavan iva yatha shashi. Now another point in this shloka is, the moon that appears to be moving and the moon that is not moving, are they two or are they one only? One? Akka, they are one only. Not two moons? Same moon. Arey no, Baba. I am not talking about any Chidabhai. I am just talking about moon. One. The moving moon and the non-moving moon. They are one. It's correct. It's one only. But 1 minute, I am coming. But there it is one. But here we think it is two. Ego is separate, Atma is separate. You see? Here we think it is two or not. Ego is separate, Atma is separate. Identifying with the cloud, that non-moving moon only is appearing as moving. There are not two moons, there is only one moon. Identified with the changing qualities of the body, mind, intellect, this non-moving, this changeless Atma is only appearing as the changing ego. They are not two. So it's not that the Atma has to realize that separately. Atma is, this ego is that Atma only. Just that the conditioning has to go. So if I have to see the non-moving moon, what do I have to do? Shift my attention from the cloud to the moon. That's all I have to do. Same way here. Atma and ego are not two different things. Rope and the snake are two or one? One only. Rope only is appearing as snake. If I am seeing the snake, then what do? There is no separate snake. I have to put the effort to detach my mind from the snake and ask what is it actually, then I will see the rope. Same way, I have to move my attention away from body, mind, intellect to realize who am I? I am that Atma. So that process is what we do in meditation. The shifting of the attention from everything what is changing. Whatever is changing, if I move my attention away from it, what is that changeless? That is myself. That is Atma. So I don't have to get something in meditation. I have to shift my vision, my attention, and who I am already will just reveal. So that's why this example is a very good example to make us aware that Atma is the changeless truth which is appearing as changing. It has not become changing. The moon is not actually moving. Moon only appears to be moving. Even when it is moving, it is actually not moving. Same way, even when it appears that I am the Karta, I am the Bhokta, I am actually not the Karta, I am Bhokta. Even for a few moments, if I can come into that quietude, I will realize that why am I taking so much of tension? So much of pressure is all because I'm identifying with one equipment. What we experience unconsciously in that deep sleep, that peace, quietude, happiness, that we will experience consciously in the state of meditation because we have shifted the attention consciously, that I am not the changing. Then what will happen to the changing? If I shift the attention, will this all not function? The changing is BMI, it is continuing. That us is only that Atma. The true nature of the us is Atma. Atma cannot feel, that is correct. If I shift my attention away from that, what is changing, which is the body, which is the equipment of feeling, and ego, which is, so Atma identifying with the BMI has assumed an identity called ego, Mr. So and so, the individual Jiva. That Jiva is detaching itself. Like the best example I give you is the actor and the role. Now the actor is playing the role. Actor identified with that character is the role, no? Now, if he has forgotten that he is the actor, now who has to detach from the role? Not the actor. The actor who has forgotten himself to be the role, that suppose the actor thinks that I am the beggar now, or I am the king, or I am a villain, let us say, whatever. He is the king now. Now that king has to say, I am not the king, I am not the king, I am not the king, I am not the king. When he says, I am not the king, he'll realize, then who am I? I am the actor. That's what will happen. Either you reject who you are not. I am not the king, I am not the king, I am not the king. And who has to do that? Who is thinking of himself as the king only has to do. Actor doesn't have to do, because if he knows he is the actor, then where is the question of doing anything? If I know I am the Atma, then nothing to do. I don't know I am the Atma, I am thinking of myself as the Jiva, so the effort has to be put by the Jiva only, that I am not this. When I detach from whatever I am not, I will come to realize, I am that Atma only. Then no need to do anything. So the process of identification has happened. Now the process of disidentification has to happen. And who has to do that? One who has got deluded to think of oneself as the ego and not as the Atma. That's why I say there are not two. There is only one. Correct. Correct. That is called falsification. No, that's the process. Actually, it's that much only.
So that also can be aware if constantly like we're studying it to be aware.
Yeah, to be aware.
The body, mind, intellect, we have to tune it to that, right?
Not tune it to that. We have to detach from the thinking that I am the body, mind, intellect.
Yeah. Train your body,
Train
mind, and intellect that we are not this.
Yeah. Correct. So we have to train our body, mind, intellect to say that this is only an equipment, I am not this.
Sorry, body, mind, intellect is not the doer.
Body, mind, intellect is the doer, enlivened by the Atma.
It cannot function without the Atma.
Correct. Without the Atma it cannot function, but in the presence of Atma it is only the doer. Atma identifying with the BMI has become the doer.
But it cannot function without the Atma.
Yes, that is true. Without Atma it cannot
Who is the
function.
doer?
The doer is the combination of these two. Atma conditioned by the BMI is the ego. So what do we say? Jiva is equal to individual BMI plus consciousness. That is the individual, the Jiva. Consciousness by itself doesn't do anything. The body, mind, intellect by itself also doesn't do anything. When these two come together, a fictitious entity called the ego is born. That ego is the doer. Now in that ego which is the doer, if I have to split, one part is the non-doer, one part is the doer. Now this non-doer part is the Atma. Why do we say BMI is the doer? Of course BMI does not function without Atma. But actions are being done by BMI only, no? Walking is done by BMI, hearing, tasting. With the help of Atma, correct. But what is happening? With the help of Atma, when this BMI is functioning, the notion that we have is I am the BMI. Forgetting I am the Atma. Now this I am the BMI, that is called as ego. So by itself BMI doesn't do anything, by itself Atma doesn't do anything. But when these two will come together, no, that's why aviveka is used. Discrimination is not there. By aviveka, these two appear to get mixed up. Now this fictitious entity called Jiva is born. Now that Jiva, it is fictitious. Like the best example for that is what? The fire and the iron ball. This iron ball is round, it is cold, it is dark. And this fire is hot, no shape and bright. Now you bring both these together. You heat that iron ball for a long time in that fire. What will happen? This iron ball will become red. So this which was dark and cold, now it has become bright and hot. The fire which had no shape, now that fire appears to have become round. The fact is neither the fire has become round nor iron has become bright. Only when these two have come together it appears that they have mutually superimposed their qualities on each other. If you take that iron ball out of fire and just leave it, what will happen? It will again come back to its nature, dark and cold and all that. So the same thing has happened here. Jiva is a combination of Atma plus BMI. BMI by itself is inert, Atma by itself is the akarta. But if these two come together, and suddenly one mysterious entity called ego is created. Now that ego rules.
The ego is Jiva.
Jivatma.
So now we identify ourselves as Jivatma. If we start identifying as Atma, how will we view the Jiva?
As only equipment. This is only an inert equipment.
Interested in the Jivatma, then you don't give up the Jivatma.
That's what mumukshutvam is. That's what mumukshutvam is.
But then you say that the ones who are realized still continue to be the Jivatma.
They don't continue to be Jivatma. They don't continue to be Jivatma. Those who are realized, they have realized the absolute self. Whatever prarabdha of the body, mind, intellect is there, that will exhaust. That's all. They don't live as Jivatma at all. They live as Atma only. BMI will continue.
But if BMI continues, there has to be a Jivatma.
No. That's correct. There has to be a Jivatma. That Jivatma is known as a false entity, like that actor example. There are two actors. One actor who thinks that he is the role. Now he is confused. The other actor knows he is not the role, so he will still play the role.
The Atma will keep playing the Jivatma.
Atma, realized person knows I am the self and this is the equipment happening, and realized person doesn't think of only this as one equipment. He says all these equipments are enlivened by Atma, which is me.
Jivatma is fictitious.
Fictitious entity. It's not true at all. Gurudev used to say, the unholy wedlock of the matter and the spirit has produced the illegitimate child called the ego. That's what has happened. It is unholy wedlock of matter and spirit which has brought about the illegitimate child called the ego. Jivatma is a fictitious entity. It remains only because of no discrimination, aviveka. If I discriminate clearly, another nice example for this given is Ramana Maharshi used to give this example. Like is that like the people who crash into the wedding, If the boy side asks them, who are you? They will say, I am from girl side. If the girl side asks, who are you? They will say, I am from the boy side. If both of them actually come together and catch this fellow, the fellow will start running away. Saying, no, I am got exposed, so he will run away. Because of lack of inquiry, this sustains. Same way in our life, because of lack of inquiry and we have assumed, I am the doer. If I question, am I really the doer? And I will realize that I am not the doer. I am Atma, in whose presence the BMI is functioning. But I am not responsible for anything. I am not the Karta at all. Like the dreamer is dreaming in the, all the dream characters are there in the dream world and many things are happening. But the moment that dream character wakes up, he realizes that I am not the doer. The whole dream world disappears. Same thing here. Because of lack of inquiry, this delusion continues that I am the Jiva.
This entity Jivatma continues over births.
Births. Like, that's why I'm saying, it keeps on taking. Just imagine, we are being fooled by an entity which does not exist. How stupid is that? And the more stupid fact is that I am actually the immortal self, thinking I am the mortal body, mind, intellect and the Jiva. Now I am going from cycle of birth to death. Upanishad actually says not birth to death, it is death to death. Mrityo samrityam apnoti. It is death to death because every single minute I am dying or not. It is only death to death, not birth to death. Birth to death is a general expression because we think of the body, then it lives for some time, then it dies. But every minute we are identifying with the perishing. So it is death to death every single minute. Non-doership is the highest knowledge. That I am not the Karta, I am pure consciousness, Sachidananda Swarup Atma. That is my nature. I am never born. Ego is born. Ego changes. Ego will die. Atma is unborn, unchanging, undying, imperishable. Imagine what a fall that is. From infinite reality, unborn, undying, unchanging, to one little jiva, thinking of itself as one miserable creature who is born, and then identifying with the body, and then thinking of that, now I am happy, now I am sad, now I am old, now I am born in this body, and in that also now I am becoming old, now I will die, now what will happen to me? You are infinite Brahman, that is okay, but right now I am dying.
That is the cycle of birth and death. You identify.
Those who identify, that's the point. The problem is false identification. That's our problem.
You see, we shouldn't be saying all this. We are born 84 lakh.
Yeah, who is born? That is correct. So that 84 lakh yonis and then I am born at first one human yoni is the way to exit, is to help me to evolve out of this.
Yeah.
But the higher truth is, how do I evolve out of it? Having got a human birth, this vivek I can do.
Yeah.
So if I realize the value of human life, then I will utilize it to realize the non-doer. Full. When I realize I am non-doer, then 84 lakh yonis disappear. Which yoni, what yoni, I am never born. So these are levels.
People can use this in a negative way also, not to do wrong things.
Correct.
You do right.
They will definitely do as that. That's why I am saying these levels which are there, one should understand. Otherwise they will misuse it. They will say, I am anyway not the doer. So kuch bhi karo, any corruption you do, any murder you do. But that is the problem now. That you can't help it. Like nuclear power is a great power, but people are misusing or not. The entire world is running on nuclear power ka business only. Destruction. I have not seen yet. I don't know whether I will get time to see, but some movie has come on World War I. 1917 something, no?
It's all the screen.
पता नहीं थिएटर में आया है अभी या कहीं तो है वो. What is it that World War I? Is the ego of few people and how many lakhs of people dead? That is happening everywhere, no? All the wars are like that only.
That is also in corporate drive, we all drive there.
Everywhere. So,
Everybody suffers because one person against the other.
ego only, the whole thing is going on, fighting on the ego. So, misuse of it can always happen. This is highest knowledge, which I can misuse and come into the level of tamasing. I don't have to do anything because I am not the karta. But body, mind, intellect will do. You are not to identify with it, that's all. What will be the motivation for it to do? Past karma is there, that is the motivation. You don't add new now. Like if I switch off the fan which is rotating, it will not stop immediately, no. It will take some time. The past momentum is there, that fan goes on. Same way, we get scared many times, if I don't do, then how will, nothing will happen. By the way, the fact is very simple. This body's prarabdha is already decided. Where it will eat, how much it will eat, how much it will live, when it will die, it is all decided by past karma. Even if you do nothing in this life for your maintenance, it is already taken care of. So what anxiety I have? Only thing is I don't know what is my karma of the past, so I don't know what is coming. A seeker says, I accept whatever comes, I have the capacity to accept. Right now my attention I want to turn towards the non-doer self. So it's like a fully paid vacation. It's already paid. Your karma only has paid for it. You swipe your card and go and stay in some hotel 10 days. You have paid for it, no? Then will you worry there that I have to work now to pay for this? No, you already paid for it. There what will you do in those 10 days? Make the best of that place. Same way, I have come here, already paid. How much I am going to last, that is already decided. From the time I come to know that I am this pure consciousness, I want to realize this is the purpose of life. Then my attention should go towards realizing that, and to help me to realize that, the mind must become pure. For that, do selfless work. Whatever duties I have, do it. Not to become inactive, but not to think. Today what we do, we are not able to give enough time to spiritual pursuit because we think that other things are more important for my maintenance, for my comfort, for my life. So after I finish all that, if I have time, I will come to spirituality. I will meditate afterwards. Right now I have work to finish, I have to go here, I have to do this, so meditation I cannot do. And what is the reason why I am doing all that? That will be only for this body's maintenance now. But this body's maintenance is already taken care of. What you are doing right now is adding for the next life. If at all. Now if you say, Mera, next life, nahi hai, I am going to cut in this life only, then why bother? So that's how our seeker will actually think. This is from Vivek Chudamani I am saying. Prarabdham pushyati vapuhu iti nischitya nischalaha. That person becomes nischal, he becomes what we call. Nischal means steady, unmoving, unshaken. No anxieties will be there in the mind of that person for basic maintenance and work for survival or work for maintaining what I have. No. This we are saying from karma standpoint. From bhakti standpoint also Bhagavan says the same thing in the Gita. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhayuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. I will take care of the yoga and kshema of the devotee. The devotee doesn't have to think about his or her maintenance. Bhagavan says, I will take care. And so many saints, do they bother about what is their livelihood, from where the food will come, who will bring? Nothing. They are very clear, single pointed attention to the Lord. Bas. Again I am saying, this all can be misused. Thinking I won't do anything. Then you fall into tamas. The objective of these philosophies is not to fall into tamas. Objective of these philosophies is to turn our attention to the Supreme Self. For that sattva guna is required in the mind. And that's why Vedanta is not for everybody. Or spiritual knowledge of non-doership is not for everybody. Because if one is not ready for it, one will misuse it. So it is given in a specific way after building a proper base, and then you give the highest knowledge. This applies in any science or not. Suddenly you give knowledge of metaphysics, who will understand? They won't understand. You have to build proper base of physics, then metaphysics you can teach, quantum physics you can teach. Same way. The non-doership is the highest knowledge. So we should decide for ourselves that what do we really want in our life? Do I really want to realize the self? Then start doing the non-doer. If we say, no, I don't want self right now, I want peace of mind. Even for that, start becoming non-doer. I am not the karta at all. I am not the karta, I am not the bhokta.
Quietude is so important.
Very much. This will bring quietude.
Quietude, to be able to reflect and discriminate,
Correct.
sort out.
Correct.
But quietude is the main thing.
So every day spend some time in reflection, quietude, in thinking for oneself. And then go into the day's activities. While doing the activities of the day, one part of the mind can always remain as the Sakshi, saying, I am a witness, this is happening by the BMI, I am not the Karta. I have to remind again and again, I am not the Karta, I am not the Karta. And in that there is no compromise of effort just because I am not the Karta. Because Sattva Guna means proper focus on the quality. So quality will be still there. Because I don't slip into tamas. Action will still happen, quality will be still given, great work will happen, but I don't carry the pressure that I am the doer. That without me this won't happen. All that goes away. So now these are the two verses where this non-doership has been explained, which continues in one more shloka. So these three verses continuously are of non-doership, which is 20th one. Atmachaitanyamashritya Dehendriyamanodhiyah Svakriyartheshu vartante Suryalokam yatha janaha. It is Surya Lokam in your book. Surya or Surya? Surya, no? It should be A because in my book it is A, so we have made one extra line there. Surya Lokam yatha janaha. So now this is the same thought. Atma Chaitanya Mashritya. Depending on the pure consciousness, the body, mind, intellect, they will function. Without the consciousness, they cannot function. How? Like in the world, everybody becomes active because of the sun. Surya Lokam Yatha Janaha Swakriyartheshu Vartante. As soon as the sun rises, what happens? Everybody becomes active. Sun doesn't do anything, sun only rises. But in the presence of that sun, everything works. Inside, outside. Our metabolism is connected to the sun. Outside work also, people become dynamic as the sun rises. But the sun doesn't do anything. Sun actually doesn't rise also. The rising setting is because of the earth. So in the presence of the sun, everything happens, but sun doesn't do anything. But without the sun, nothing will happen. That's what this is. Atma doesn't do anything, but without Atma, nothing will happen. And in presence of Atma, this body, mind, intellect will function. So now our choice is, where do I identify? Do I identify with the ego which is thinking of itself as the doer, or do I identify myself as the Atma? The sun remains unaffected, but without it nothing will happen. Same way, I am the pure consciousness without whom nothing will happen. But today how strange it is, every little thing that is happening is going to affect me. Because I don't think I am the Atma, I think I am the Jiva, the ego. Now that ego has likes and dislikes, so now some things it will like, something it will dislike, and both these will affect the ego. But if I say I am the Atma, nothing affects. So these three verses are of the non-doer. This applies even in management. You see, worker, manager, leader. Three types of people. The leader is one in whose presence the leader can inspire, and the manager and worker will work. That's called leadership by inspiration, leadership by consciousness. How consciousness, in the presence of consciousness, everything functions. In that same way, in the presence of that leader, the leader doesn't have to do anything, but the leader will guide, inspire in such a way that everybody becomes active, they start doing things, great work happens. But that vision has to be there in that leader. In that same way here, Atma is that in whose presence everything happens, by itself it doesn't do anything, and I am that. And beautiful point in life is this, we all want to be the non-doer, but in the wrong way. Think. All hard work is for what actually? Finally हम आराम से रहेंगे. Huh? Work hard, buy some house somewhere and then chill. So I want to go into non-doer state only, but in the far end of the ladder, which is that tamasic level. The top end of the ladder is non-doer. Now they both appear similar. A man sitting below the tree, meditating or doing nothing, established in the self, will look the same as somebody who is whiling away the time. But they are not the same. One person is abiding in the highest level, other person is in the lowest level. So we all seek actually that all effort is supposed to lead to peace, non-doership. But our definition of non-doership is comfort of the body, mind, intellect. Vedanta definition of non-doership is detached from the body, mind and intellect. Then you are the non-doer, akarta. So now these three are about the non-doer. Now going ahead, next one. Dehendriya gunan karmani amale satchidatmani adhyasyantya vivekena gagane nilata divat. So now, Deha, Indriya, Guna, Karma, all these, the body, the senses, the temperament of the body and the actions are all superimposed on the Atma. Amale Sachidatmani. In the pure consciousness, this is superimposed. It doesn't belong to it. How? Gagane Nilatadivat. Like how we superimpose blueness on the sky. Is the sky actually blue? But we superimpose the blueness on the sky because we think that the sky has become blue because of limitation of our senses. Sky is not blue. So it's a superimposition. It is not real. In the same way here, why this is happening? Adhyasyanti, superimposing is happening avivekena because of lack of discrimination. It is happening just by delusion. It is just happening. So the BMI, they will function, but their activities are superimposed on the Atma. So all the impurities of the body, mind, intellect or the limitations of body, mind, intellect get superimposed on the Atma, to which it doesn't belong actually. How does it get superimposed? When I think I am a human being, I am a man, I am tall, I am dark, I am young, I am handsome, I am old. That is all superimposition on the Atma. Atma has no gender. Atma has no divisions of different forms and species and their properties. It is one absolute truth. If we say, this is a big wave, this is a small wave, this is bubble, this is foam. Now we are superimposing all this on water. It is actually what? Only water. There is nothing else there. Same way here. Just like we superimpose blueness on the sky, not only blueness in the sky, so many things that happen. Suppose there is air pollution. Now we think the air has got polluted, so the space also looks polluted. But space is never touched by it. It is the air which is polluted. We think that the space is curved. No? But space is not curved at all. It is because of the limitation of our eyes that we see some horizon somewhere. Is the space in curve? No. The earth may be like that, and one part of the earth I am seeing and I am watching. So then for me it is my range of vision that makes it look like this. It is actually not there. If one goes into space, where will one see like that? One sees earth is just round and so much space all around it. So it is all superimposition. Limitation of the senses, etc. Superimposition happens. Same way on the Atma, which is the non-doer, all this is superimposed. Deha, Indriya, Guna, Karma, Adhyasyanti. And it is happening because no proper discrimination. So what to do? See, even when I know that this sky is not blue, will the sky stop appearing blue? No. But internally, what can I do? I can falsify that thought clearly, saying that this is not blue at all. Same way, it is not that suddenly that I will, realize that Atma is a non-doer, so everything will stop. Nothing will stop. It will all go on. Work will happen, activities, relationship, it will all go on. But in my mind, what should I think? I am the Akarta, I am the Abhokta. Now the next part of this is very nice. If I am Akarta and Abhokta, are you Karta and Bhokta, or are you Akarta and Abhokta? For me, I am saying I am not the Karta, I am not the Bhokta. For me, are you also the Karta, Bhokta, or are you also Akarta, Bhokta? That we should remember. Because what people do, I am Akarta, but you are Karta. You did this to me, but I am Akarta. Are? If you are the Atma which is Akarta, all of them also are Akarta only. If we say I am the instrument and Bhagavan is the Karta, then others also are instruments and Bhagavan is the Karta. Huh?
Philosophy of Brahman.
Yeah, Brahman is there in all, na? Same.
Very high ideal, na, Swami? Very high ideal.
But it is high, but that's the only way to liberation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what we do, we think of ourselves as Akarta and then we blame other people that, you are the cause of my suffering, you should not have spoken to me like this, you should have not done like this. But I am Akarta. Ye kya hai?
Sorry, who is a Karta?
That's the best question. Who is the Karta? If you ask that question, Karta only dissolves. There is no Karta. That entity which is appearing as Karta is a false. Like I told you, that thief who crashes into the wedding. If you start asking, who are you? He will run away. If you ask the question, who is the Karta? Karta bhav only will go away.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, it doesn't exist. It is remaining only because of aviveka. Now, because of aviveka, then we say Jiva is the Karta, Ishvara is the Karta, Maya is the Karta, three gunas are the Karta. Fact is that there is no Karta at all. But that is the highest level. Now, how to understand that? So, we will bring some other Karta. If you are not the Karta, three gunas are the Karta. Ishvara is the Karta. If I hold on to any of that, saying I am not the Karta, Maya is the Karta, or Ishvara is the Karta, or three gunas are the Karta, the moment I get established in the state that I am not the doer, I realize that Karta only was never there. Bhokta is also not there. Karma also did not happen. When a person wakes up now, what will he realize? Who was the dreamer? Are dream world only disappeared. That's what will happen.
If there is no Karta, there is no Karma.
No karma. No.
There is no actor having every action.
No, it is not there.
There is no knowledge of others.
It is not there. It is in the dream, illusion. As long as we are seeing it is an illusion only. If you wake up from the dream,
This is so real.
exactly, dream is so real.
This is a
Dream is real or not? It's exactly his matrix only.
Movie also. Now I'm going to watch that movie again.
If you want, we should watch it together. All of
With
us.
your explanation.
We to stop and do, pause and explain everywhere. Is Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampati, Mukshutvam, Guru, Shraddha, Sadhana, everything is in that.
How the makers of the movie have so much patience?
Are they have consulted monks.
Wachowski brothers.
Yeah, Wachowski brothers, they consulted Ramakrishna Mission monks and Vedant and then other philosophers also. And at the end of this third part, they say, Asatoma, Sadgamaya, they say. Huh? Of course.
I saw it with you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Long back, 98 onwards, that movie has been, 2000 onwards, somewhere it was released.
It's the movie form, it's a blockbuster. Otherwise, you don't understand.
Even movie from blockbuster because of anti-gravity stunts and all. Who understands that much as it is Vedant? That time that Neo was doing anti-gravity stunts and Keanu Reeves and they'll all drool over him. Oh. Where is Vedant?
So I believe the third part was also.
That I don't worry about. For me, first part is the best part. Second and third and also we वो drama कर रहे हैं कुछ भी. Matrix. Very nice movie. Worth seeing.
With him, he's explaining to us.
Worth seeing properly. Yeah, we have done many workshops on Matrix. We have done. It's amazing. Movie is very, very good.
So we're supposed to stick to getting numbers, running away.
Huh? No, it will be more. The movie itself is 2 hours. So either we do it, so we can do it on over 2 days. That's a better option. Otherwise, if you have that stamina, then do it for 3.5 hours with one break in between, eat some food, again come back.
But you know, holiday only, I'm okay. That's a holiday. That's a 10th March is holiday. It's up to you.
You figure out whenever you want to do. That is easy. But please get with subtitle. मिलेगा आराम से. Yeah. It is good, very good movie. Only thing is you should be ready for violence. Thak. They'll do a lot of shooting, fighting. In that violence, we should not miss out the point. But there are solid, subtle points in that. Very, very good. That's the Vivek and Vairagya. You choose blue pill, red pill. Every seeker, every minute has a choice, blue pill or red pill. Of course. Blue pill or red pill. The Guru will give, Morpheus will give blue pill or red pill. He says, if you take the blue pill, I forget which color, but he says, if you take this one pill, you go back to your life, continue your life as it is. But if you take the other one, I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Meaning, I'll tell you what is the reality. This guy chooses the one which makes him understand what is the reality. Super movie it is. That seeker has a choice every minute. Blue pill or red pill, which one do I choose? At some point that when he takes the red pill, then he is, some people come and they try to take him and go and to show him that he is bound. But he doesn't want to accept that he is, bound. So when they are taking him forcefully, he doesn't like that. So he says, stop the car, I want to go. And he opens the door and he wants to go. That time that girl, Trinity, tells him that, you have been to the end of the road. You know exactly where it leads. And you don't want to be there. Think about it. So he says, okay. Then again he comes back. He doesn't go there. So all that happens. Yeah, that's the thing now which will pull you back into the world and again you want to go there. But if your Vivek is strong that I want freedom, and you don't fall for it. Yeah, it's amazing. Those are the plot. Oh, uska significance.
The machines who are humans.
Yeah, that all has Vedantic significance. That all has. There are lots of, there's a whole book on it, Matrix. Analyzing the whole philosophy of Matrix. This fat book it is. ठीक है, we'll see whenever we have to see. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।